Welcome back to the Joust About Careers podcast, where you can learn about careers from the people who are actually in the trenches every day. I'm your host, Brian Brott, and I'm a career advisor and English teacher at Van Buren High School who wants to see all people make good career and life decisions. This episode features the highlights of the interview with Brent Hendricks, a director of pre-sales consulting with Aptos Retail. Brent shares about his life in tech sales, how he started down this career path, the roles of college and certifications in today's tech world, and what he most enjoys about his career. If you like what you hear from Brent and would like to learn more, you can always watch the full interview. And if you find this podcast useful, please share it with someone else who could benefit from it. Enjoy the show.
My job in sales is really around technical selling. So I manage a team of folks across North America that are focused on software sales, typically to retailers. So if you think about the cash registers that are in pretty much any type of environment that you're going to have, from restaurants to retail and so forth, there's a whole team of people behind those that have to set those up, manage them, get the data in and out of them, do the financial reporting, et cetera. And so my team helps focus on those individual key areas. So the application itself, the supporting applications maybe behind that, and also then eventually, how does that money get to the bank and how do they actually use that money then to go forward? So my team specializes in kind of understanding what the customer's needs are and walking them through the capabilities of our technology platform and what that can do for them. And that kind of goes across really anybody that's doing kind of a technical pre-sale kind of role. I've worked in a number of different companies, and that's a very typical kind of path where you have folks that are very specialized in a particular function of an application or a type of application. And there needs to be someone who's going to help them understand what those needs are, what the capabilities are, match those up, and eventually then hopefully close the sale. So I think that some of the things that were really helpful was going back to what we did in high school and understanding some of that troubleshooting and helping people out, translated immediately into when I went to college and worked at a help desk for Wright State University and was working with a lot of students and faculty and staff on issues. That gave me a great opportunity to have really meaningful real world experience that could actually be, immediately applicable to what I was going to do in the future. So it wasn't as much of a pivot as I would say that it may have sounded like. From there, I did an internship. Actually, I left the help desk, did an internship at NCR Corporation in Dayton. That's kind of how I get into the cash register business. That was totally by accident. That was not something I was expecting to do. But that gave me a lot of exposure, though, that was interesting to NCR as an intern and came in and was able to immediately add value, worked on some special projects for them, and they ended up extending me an offer to continue my internship after the summer had ended. And then when that was done, I was able to find a full-time position in sales. And that was kind of ultimately how I transitioned into that. Funny story, though, that transition between the internship and the professional career in sales had an interesting twist with a recruiter who said, you're not qualified for this job. Every time you apply for this job, I'm throwing away your resume. Stop applying for this job. And that was their whole message to me, which was really deflating. But I can say though that person ended up hooking me up to the recruiter that then got me the sales job that really launched my career. So I think one of the interesting things about life is that sometimes the people who are the least beneficial for you or sometimes end up becoming the most contributing to what ends up being your life. One of the things I would say as well, I mean, in addition to the help desk that really kind of help get me kind of where I am, and this is a very intriguing component to my background, was during that interview process, I spent probably, of the 30 minutes I was in there, probably 20 minutes talking about my experience working for Disney in the college program that Disney offers, which is a paid internship. It's not a lot of money. You're not going to go there to get rich, but it's a ton of fun. And working with them in their Walt Disney World College program, driving monorails, which was a ton of fun. Not totally applicable to what I do today, but certainly when you're standing in front of people wearing maroon polyester and telling them to go all the way down and all the way into gates, it certainly gives you an ability to speak publicly, and you feel much more confident with what you're doing because of doing some of those very interesting jobs. So having that opportunity to work for Disney, I think also really helped me a lot with the NCR interview, which also, kind of helped me get in there. So having something that's portable, I think is really important. College is much more about teaching you how to think and how to reason things than it is about sometimes the specific things that you learn, especially in the tech realm. A lot of the things that I learned when I was going through school are totally deprecated now. They're really not in use. Some of the things will never go away, but a lot of the things have. So do I think it was a good degree to get? It was for me at the time. I'm still using it in terms of it. I'm still in the field that I wanted to go into. Am I actually pulling things out of it on a day-to-day basis? That time has long since passed. However, there are other things that I have done, though, such as doing certifications with Amazon for their web services that you can do to continue to add value to your company, add value to your understanding of what's happening around you, and in my case, hopefully be able to sell something more at a better price as well. I would say if there's somebody who is as nerdy and techie as I was when I was in high school, one, good for you. You will actually go far in life. Even if people are making fun of you now, it doesn't matter, and it really won't. In those cases, somebody who has that self-starter mentality of being able to go in and say, can I do a certification? They're not very expensive. I mean, we're talking like $100 or $150. Like, work a few extra shifts over a weekend. You're going to get the money and go off and do the test. You can do a lot of that training online. You can learn a lot of stuff from YouTube. For 15 or 20 bucks, you can pick up some classes online. It's really efficient. For those folks, I say you can definitely get some certifications and you can get some understanding of that, so that you would definitely have a leg up if you were not going to go down the college route. I think there are definitely some opportunities there. I think that if you get into corporate America, it's going to be more challenging to not have a degree. But if you have some of those specialty training certificates from Cisco or Amazon or some of the other big players, Microsoft, that you can walk in with, you're certainly going to be able to say, I have the technical knowledge that I need here. Whether or not I have the college degree may or may not be a deal breaker, depending on what you can find there. The first couple I think are going to be challenging. Thereafter, you may have more success because you're going to have more of a resume built up already to say, I've done this, I've worked in this business, and I know what I'm talking about. I really enjoy working with customers and understanding what their needs are. The really interesting thing about the business that I am in, and there's a lot of other technical businesses as well, they're like this, that their business is very cyclical. So about every 15 to 20 years, they go out and they replace their point of sale and back end systems, and then they ride it for another 20 years. So I am now at the point in my career where I'm beginning to actually replace some of the technology that I started to put in, which is both sad because I helped design some of the technology that is now being displaced, but also very interesting to be able to see the full life cycle of that happen. And hopefully I'll have one more of those before I end my career. So in that regard, it's fun to be able to go in and like we were talking about earlier, understand where your challenge is, what can't you do today, what do you want to be able to do in the future.
Thank you for watching and listening to this episode of the Joust About Careers podcast. I hope you learned valuable information from this career story And to be sure you don't miss upcoming episodes, please click subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you'll know when the next episode is released. Thank you for watching, and as always, this is the place to go to learn just about careers.